Okay, so this is the Q&A session for the Rest and Rise retreat. I'm going to share my screen and just introduce a little bit the Grow Free community and the Rest and Rise retreat. So the Grow Free community, although in some ways a lot of it at the moment I've set up, it started off with a number of people, some of whom are here, Georgia, Hazel, coming together, looking to create meetups and gatherings of people with like minds and to really get a bit of community going. And the more interested I got in trauma, the more then that's become kind of the basis of some of the courses. The whole idea that, you know, what the experiences that we've had in the past, especially as young children, have come along and kind of knocked us off our natural ability to grow free and be in a kind of natural flow, just really dovetailed along with what we were doing anyway with the community aspect. So we could say, so Grow Free community brings together people with lived and professional experience of transforming trauma to share knowledge, experience and skills so that together we restore our bodies, wisdom, true power through connection, expression and creation, and informed by nature. So we have this community. We also are setting up step by step a kind of an organization, a body that's looking to get funding. We've already got some funding coming in, but our intention is to continue to create online and face-to-face events and spaces and resources that support recovery and resilience. Everyone can see the shared screen, right? You can see. Yeah. So our culture is about equality. It's a very kind of circular, you know, it's been a humbling and a kind of growth bringing experience for me to kind of set up some courses and set up peer support and then feel like, holy moly, I feel like I'm the one that needs the support more than anyone else here at the moment. You know, it's we really believe like everyone has their strengths, everyone has their experiences that have created wounding or illness, and sometimes some of us are feeling a bit stronger. All of us have got knowledge to share. So while it might be me curating this retreat, I fully anticipate and know that I will get as much wisdom from you guys and you will get as much wisdom from each other as from anything I bring or the format itself. So our culture is also about creating kind of professional quality content, but combining it with peer facilitation. So training people up, coming in, doing our courses, and then going on to facilitate those courses for other people. That the next one about we all rise and fall is this idea that community is community. Even the elders in a community sometimes need support from the youngsters. We all, one moment I'm blossoming and someone else is flagging, the next moment they're blossoming and I'm flagging. You know, it's very reciprocal. And we last year did our first peer-to-peer course, which if you don't know about already, is such a beautiful thing. It was developed by a number of different organizations. It's a free resource that's available, a set of sessions, and some of the values and principles that they've identified for working in a peer community kind of way. They've set out in this term, hear me. I don't know if anyone that was on the peer-to-peer course last year can remember any of what they were, putting people on the spot. Can anyone remember what the H stood for? Everyone's like, oh, should know this. So it was hope, empowerment, authenticity, respect. I think it was respect, meaning, and oh, help me, help me. I should have looked this up before I started. What would the other E be? I've had empowerment, not encouragement. Empathy. Thanks, Georgia. I managed to lip read you there. Empathy. Yeah. So also part of our culture is this idea that in my journey, one set of teachings didn't give me all the answers. That having different perspectives on something I find really helpful, and we've brought that into Grow Free. So a lot of the yogic teachings work for me, but then when I've heard some of the same stuff described in different ways by somebody else, maybe in permaculture, maybe in shamanism, then I'm like, oh, right. Oh, that's what yoga was talking about all that time. All right. So it's about multiple perspectives and choice. What we do in Grow Free is informed by nature. It's about helping us get back to our true nature, to become more aligned with nature. Therefore, we have a seasonal calendar, which we're continually developing. We have a kind of shared route map for recovery or for growth. We have it's a spiral, and there's 6 steps on it, which are about, number one is about educating ourselves, getting to resourcing ourselves. It's getting back into our natural flow with energy. It's about integrating the past. So there's this common shared program or unprogram or route map, but everyone's individual journey within that is completely personal, and it's not a one time. We don't do the fight, flight, freeze, and me course and that tick, we've graduated and everything's all completely sorted. It's a continual growing in little steps and integrating more of the past and growing more of our comfort zone. And the other part of our culture is it's about co-creation and unity. You'll find on this retreat will be much like other courses. The different members will contribute different parts of the course. Everyone's input is really welcome, and we want to really celebrate everyone's uniqueness. Absolutely what anyone brings on any day, whether they're flagging or blossoming on that day, and we really, really, really want your genius zone, whatever that is. Lego, joinery, drawing, stick men, writing poems. And if we don't know what it is, I'm still it's often like I'm still kind of still trying to find, what's my genius zone? I'm not quite sure. But we know everyone has one, and we're creating the safest, most supportive space that we can to help everyone find their own. So one of the things we want to start up, hopefully this year, is the opportunity for different people. If you have something that you are looking to offer the world, and you want a safe space to just try it out with people that you've come to trust, then we want you to do it with us. Whether it's a creative workshop, the access bars, coaching, Lego, share it with us. We could have all kinds of different workshops here. So our seasonal calendar, last year we didn't start with Rest to Rise. It came about at the end of last year. The idea for it, quite honestly, because um, I was trying to learn to rest. I was like, do I need to just like wipe out January from the work calendar and just let myself rest? But the more I was doing, then I was really getting into my yoga nidra practice and really getting more into, and the idea for the Rest to Rise retreat came up. That's what we need in Grow Free. We need to start the year off supporting each other to rest. And then we'll follow this up. So when our energy's low in January, February, we've got the Rest to Rise retreat. February to April, we have the Fight, Flight, Freeze and Me course, followed by the peer-to-peer course. Hazel will be putting the I Heart course somewhere in there. We're still to get dates for that. And we have ongoing peer support activities throughout the year that we're mostly at the moment we've been meeting online, but we're looking to develop more face-to-face and combining them with different activities. So we've got a number of peers, some of them here who do the cold water sea swimming. I can imagine having a peer group meeting on the beach, going for a swim, different crafting, knitting, textiles, whatever that is. And we managed to get some funding at the end of last year to help us develop our food forest. So we're looking to have probably a weekly gardening group, food forest gardening. And May to July is much more outdoors, nature connection, creative events. We've had 1 or 2 campouts so far, and we've spoken about having a wee community festival a couple of times. We've not quite made it yet. 2023 may be the year. We'll see if we get there. It'd be nice to have just a small one in the summer. Then August to November, we'll go back to the Fight, Flight, Freeze and Me and the peer-to-peer course again. And I think that time of year, once people have already done one of the, if they've gone through Fight, Flight, Freeze and Me and the peer-to-peer, might have that confidence to offer some workshops within the community. And then we come back to December and just slowing down and going inwards. So that's a kind of introduction to the community. I think I'll go straight into just a little bit more about the Rest and Rise retreat, and then we'll open up for questions. So I will share my screen again here. So why Rest and Rise? As with everything else I have done in any of the trainings, all the yoga training, for other people, I always was like training to. Can you still hear me? My internet says it's going a bit unstable. Yeah. I went and did trauma training, specific training on trauma, yoga training on trauma, so that I could deliver a project. Found myself there and I was like, oh, that's what's going on with me. So it's the same with the Rest and Rise as with anything else. Developing a retreat and an offering that is as much about what I know I need as about what I am pretty sure other people need or could find useful as well. It's linked to the season, this time of year. Our energy is picking up a little since the solstice, but I don't think it's time for jumping out, and the level of activity comes in spring or summer. So it's still this is a time to let ourselves rest. That doesn't mean rest is only for this season, but it feels like a really perfect way to start the year. And again, like rest and rise is about getting back into that natural flow. So this retreat really links in with the Fight, Flight, Freeze and Me course and with the whole program in Spiral, in that really learning to let ourselves really, it's not even just learning, isn't it? It's about learning to let our body embody deep rest and let it tell us when it's time to pick up and move into action, as opposed to that kind of constant push that so many of us experience in this culture to keep going. The schedule for the retreat is super spacious. I think I didn't hear my husband swear there, but something just blew. Really spacious, 6 weeks. In week 1, the opening ceremony, set our intentions, and each week we'll have a recorded rest practice for that week, which will kind of build during the whole retreat. So we'll have the opening ceremony and then the group coaching call with Hazel on the Friday. The second week, there's no live calls at all. It's more of a kind of exhale integration week. There'll be the recorded practice and a recorded deep dive conversation. That's a quieter week. Week 3 goes back to having the 2 group calls on the Monday and the Friday, along with another recorded practice. Week 4 is back to a quieter week. That'll be deep dive conversation 2. So I've got some lovely deep dive conversations set up for you that will bring in different practices and different experiences. Week 5 goes back to the 2 group calls, and the last week we'll have the closing circle on the Monday evening. And instead of the group coaching call that week, you'll be invited to the weekly Grow Free Community peer session on the Wednesday morning. So it's a weekly thing that we've been doing in the community, very similar to the group sanctuary call, but you'll be invited to that. And then we've got the follow-on courses. The Fight, Flight, Freeze and Me course starts directly after this retreat, and the peer-to-peer course starts after that. And those 2 courses are the basis of our peer facilitator training. And then we're really, really lucky and blessed to have John Cree coming up to Aberdeenshire in May, which dovetails directly into the end of the peer-to-peer course. And we'll be running some co-created courses with him that really bring in the nature connection aspect into our peer support work. So using nature more, taking people out in groups. And he's also, it looks like he'll probably be bringing another practitioner up to do a 2-day storytelling and somatics workshop, which should be fabulous. And in the middle of our Rest and Rise retreat, there's the possibility to attend one of our community friends' Osho taster events. And the Osho, reminding yourself of the forgotten language of talking to your body, is essentially a rest practice, really getting deeply into communication with your body. So Vicky will be running that during, I don't know if it's week 4, maybe even week 2. So during week 2, you could decide to join Vicky, and that would be every evening at 8 p.m. she'll be running the sessions. So perhaps instead of doing the recorded rest practice, you could choose to join Vicky and use that as your rest practice for that week. Okay, so I'm going to hand you over for a few minutes just to Hazel. She'll just tell you a little bit about her group coaching calls and how that links in.
Yeah, the type of coaching I do is called clarity, or otherwise known as the three principles, and it works in a very similar way to the sanctuary calls that we do, except for the coaching element that's kind of added into it. So it's a case of getting really quiet and really listening to people really deeply, and I'll become aware of a question that you need asked and ask you that question. And it can push you to a place of kind of insight. Not guaranteeing I'll get it absolutely spot on every time, but it's very much kind of feeling a way in a conversation into a place where I can help you see your life from a different perspective, and so that you get an insight on a particular behavior pattern or a thought pattern that enables you to see it from that different perspective. And once you see it once from that different perspective, change starts. I found it incredibly powerful over the last few years that I've kind of been involved with this, and it's completely changed my life. And I've gone from being somebody who was completely and totally wrapped up in anxiety and depression to somewhere where an anxious thought might pass over my mind every now and then, but I kind of know it'll go away and the depression is gone. So it's really been transformative. So we're going to do 3 sessions of group coaching. Obviously, there's only so much we can do within that, and we'll probably pick up on themes that have come out of the call on the Tuesday, and then I'll basically leave it open for anyone that wants to come forward and be coached for 10-15 minutes or something within the space, and we'll do that with a couple of people. And not everybody may feel comfortable with that, but we'll find a way to enable everybody to get a kind of sense of this and some direct coaching. But actually listening to what's going on with other people is incredibly powerful as well, because you start to realize that all that nonsense you run in your head is what everybody else is doing. And though everybody else might look perfectly confident and look like there's nothing going on, you realize actually we're all the same in many ways. And that for me was one of the big learnings as well, was just seeing how messed up everybody was. And the coaching I did was people from London's best bus driver to people who had really successful enterprises and people high up in corporates and things, and headmistress from a primary school. We were all the same, all equally messed up. And that was just so lovely to see, because it really lets you off the hook when you realize that it's actually normal. We don't live in a world that's been built for humans to thrive. Yeah. It's up to us to make our way towards that one by one, each of us. So, yeah.
And that's a lot about what we do here, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say, it's like you take the outer layers off, and the roles and the masks that we tend to show up in the world with, and underneath that there's a lot of similarity. But we've also spoken about this in the community, is that we haven't all come in and started on a level playing field. There's things that's happened potentially in our early life that has, had a significant impact around that. More freedom often that can really bring.
Yeah, we've all had different experiences and learnt different patterns and had different experiences of trauma and things, and but yeah, everyone's journey is different, and we can all learn from each other's journeys, and that's a beautiful place to be, and we can all hold each other. So yeah, so you'll experience the coaching.
So are there any questions? Sorry, we must have a delay going on. Oh, Lisa's got her hand up.
This is just a very practical one for somebody very impractical and disorganized. Where do we actually sign up and pay for the course?
So on the, either if you're not already part of the online community platform, when you go to join now, the three options will be there. So that well, here's a good question: is the pricing? We've made a pricing on a sliding scale, which means you can join for either sort of a full price of £66, a supported price of £33, or a further supported price of £13. We want to keep everything as accessible to everyone as possible. So you go on, you choose which price point suits you at the moment. If you've already joined the online community platform, and I'll put a link up in a wee minute, it will show the Rest and Rise retreat will show either down the left hand side or in a featured part. I think probably, Lisa, the reason you might be struggling to find it is that you've already joined.
Have I?
Yeah. So now you won't find the thing to let you join because you're already in there.
Okay.
I think you were one of the first to join.
But that is a good question, Emma. Would we then get emailed a link with like the Zoom link and the meeting ID, or will that be within the platform?
Within, I could bring this up now. Would it be helpful for people to see the?
Oh, hang on, Hazel's showing
what it looks like on the
yeah. I've read it. I just need to sign up. I haven't got round to it.
Yeah. You're on mute, Hazel. Within the retreat space, the events are set up as events, and the Zoom link's in there. So it might take a moment for my computer. I've got rural Scottish internet connection here, which means trying to do more than one thing's tricky.
Emma, what page do you want?
Once you're in the,
because I've got it up now.
Can you show like the list of events? I think I should be able to do it now. Here, let me, if I share my screen again. So what I'll show you here is for someone who's already, this is for someone that's already joined the online space. When you come in, there's a main feed down the middle, and down the left-hand side here are some of the different areas. So there's courses in there, there's different spaces, and I've called it immersions. You'll probably find that I call something 1 week and then decide to change it. But at the moment, here's a collection here called Immersions. The Rest to Rise retreat is in there. You click in there. If you've not already joined, it would, I think it would give you the option to actually join. Oh, my internet's too slow.
Emma, whilst we've been speaking, I've of course thought about a couple of other people that might, I don't know if this would be their thing or not, but they've just come to mind. So if I forwarded them the link, would they then sign up for the course to then access the community as well? Or would there be a way that they could get the recording of this to see if it would be something they'd want to do?
Yeah, I can send, well, what I'm going to do anyway is I'll send an email out with this recording. So you could forward them that email, but
Yeah.
you could also forward them the link here, just community.grow-free.com, and anyone who's not already part of it, that link will take them to the landing page. And on the landing page just now, there's 3 different options for joining the Rest and Rise retreat at the different price points. So you can either choose to join for 66 or 33 or 13 pounds. My internet's just not managing to hold Zoom and navigate through here. Once you go into the Rest and Rise retreat, the events, all the group calls are listed. I don't know if anyone else has had it. Does anyone else have it up on their computer that could show anyone? Can I let you share your screen?
I don't know on the computer, just on the iPhone. What to do? Rest and Rise. Under the group calls, what section do you want?
Yeah, is that going to be on your phone or?
It is, yeah. I haven't got it up on the computer at the moment. It's remembering the wrong password, so I need to go back in and change it.
Oh,
The
look,
group calls.
here, I can show you here what it will come up like. So when you're inside, it'll come up as events. If you've joined the Rest or Rise retreat, you'll have a list of events. So if you go into the Rest and Rise opening ceremony, the Zoom link's in there. And within the online community space, there's a chat function. You can always look for me or for Hazel and send a message and say, I can't find what I'm looking for. Can you show me? It's easier for us to do it all through that platform rather than send you links via other ways.
Yeah, it's good. Everything's there, so it is good. It's yeah, as soon as you're in there, you'll be able to find all the links for everything that you need.
And start playing around with it, because we're going to hopefully develop more and more. I've got a meeting tomorrow with a few other practitioners who hopefully might come on board so that we have a few more courses. A nutritionist. I'm not like, it's not, none of it's definite, but it would be so amazing if one or two of them do join us. My hope is that we have practitioners there that cover, the main bases that keep us well, which from my understanding, and I'd love to hear what other people think and feel, is it's things like breath, sound, food and nutrition, stories, the stories we tell ourselves or tell other people. I'm sure there's a few others, but and within that there's lots of different methods and practices, aren't there? But we'll build that up so that we've got all those perspectives. Shomali.
Just got a quick question about the schedule for the sessions. You know, a couple of the weeks you said that there aren't live sessions, so are we able to do those in our own time anytime during that week before the next one?
Are you able to do what during that week?
So are they sessions that you've pre-recorded or activities to do?
Yeah.
And we just do that in our own time?
Yeah, the idea, so you'll get a recorded rest practice each week, and the idea is that we all commit. So in the opening ceremony, we'll all set our intention and commit. For me, I'm so vata, I'm so all over the place that it's helpful for me to try and commit to a time to do my practice. And for me at the moment, I've been finding that often, if I can, sort of mid-afternoon is a really good time for me to get a rest in, and it completely changes my evening. But for other people, it might be, okay, the commitment is to make 20 minutes to do that recorded practice every day, could be at a different time. So the recorded practice is something that we'll do every day, which sounds like a lot, but like the benefit, we've been doing it a little bit kind of within the community anyway recently, and the benefit from putting that into your day, and the creativity and the space and the solutions that come from there, and the regeneration of our bodies. And part of the reason I've developed this is because the last couple of years my body has really been telling me that the amount I've been living on my adrenals is not doing it any good, which I've known for a long time, but I've needed to do a lot of the trauma work to get to this point where I'm trusting enough that rest is like really important here, and I've got enough awareness. So a daily rest practice, and on the week off from the live calls, we'll post the recorded conversation, and yeah, you just listen to that whenever. It'll just then be available to listen to, and we'll put up, I imagine, we'll ask people at the beginning, create a group agreement, and as long as people are happy for the group calls to be recorded and shared only within the group of people that are on the retreat, if anyone does miss the group calls, there might be the option to watch a recorded one. And I really feel like the value and the experience of coming and being part of the group calls will be such an important and wonderful part of the retreat. Yet there's also it's not expected. You don't have to come to the live calls to do the retreat, and you could just do the daily practices and maybe share something through writing on the online space, or we all come into these experiences with different we've got different things going on, don't we? So this is meant to be supportive and not add on any pressure to anyone, including me. Well, we're pretty much, we've hit 8:30. Does it sound kind of like what you thought it might be? Does anyone want to say anything before we
I
leave
just
each
say I'm
other for
looking
now?
forward to getting to know everybody better. Yeah, I think it's going to be fun and
Yeah.
transformative. Yeah. So
Awesome. Well, I'll hold the space open for a few more minutes if anyone thinks of anything they want to say. Otherwise, if you're ready to go rest and take yourself to bed, please listen to your body.
Well, thank you, Emma, and everybody so much for listening. And well, it was nice to meet you all, and yeah, looking forward to connect more with you all.
Yay.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
And I'm looking forward to speaking next Monday with you, Hilda.
Yeah.
We'll get a Zoom link sent out to you.
Yeah, great. Looking forward
Brilliant.
to it. Yeah. So have a good
Nice
night.